remember that you've already done the hardest workout that you're ever gonna do, and that's bringing life into the world. So don't be too hard on yourself. Take it easy. First of all, my name is Gabby. I am a former personal trainer and fitness nutrition specialist. My goals are a little bit different than they've ever been before. With my previous 2 babies, after I had them, I was really focused on getting my body back, bouncing back, as the kids call it these days. I am not so focused on how I look this time around. I am ready to be my healthiest, strongest version of myself, not only for me, but for my kids as well. Today I'm going to be sharing 3 very realistic, doable steps that I am personally taking to achieve my postpartum fitness goals. The first one goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway, and that's exercise. So I think it's so important to find something that makes you happy and that you enjoy doing and that challenges you. So I have slowly been incorporating more intentional exercise into my day-to-day life. Since about 6 weeks postpartum. I have been taking it so slow though, and I think that's really important. I so badly need to get out of bed and go work out. I do not want to do it. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I work out because it improves my health. I work out because it makes me feel good, and that's the attitude that you should take when you're approaching working out too, because it's a game changer for your mindset. And I only do workouts that make me feel good and positive about the skin that I'm in. So for example, yoga is something I never thought that I would get into. I am the type of personality that has a difficult time shutting off and just being present. I'm constantly thinking about this thing or that thing or what I should be doing, and it's really hard for me to just quiet my mind and be, and I like yoga because it forces me to do that. I also recently splurged on a Nordic track treadmill, which I'm super stoked about, and I feel like this is another really great body positive way to work out in a way that makes me happy. You know what makes me feel like a real badass? Lifting weights. I love to do this at the gym, but with everything going on in the world, most of my workouts do take place at home right now. Regardless of where I'm doing the lifting of the weights, I feel strong and confident wherever I'm doing it. Find workouts that make you happy, that make you feel good and strong and confident when you're done. You don't have to be perfect at it. It doesn't have to look any certain way. I mean, make sure your form is good, whatever you're doing, so you don't risk injury. But other than that, it does not matter.
You might already know that during pregnancy and birth, our pelvic floor muscles can become stretched and weakened. The first way you can strengthen your pelvic floor muscles is with Kegels. I know, it's obvious. Kegel exercises are done by activating and holding the muscles that control the flow of urine. And to start, you want to sit or lie down or just stand up in a comfortable position. Close your eyes and first connect to those muscles that stop the flow. Then, engage and lift up these muscles as much as possible and hold the position for 3 to 5 seconds. Then fully release the muscles and rest for several seconds. The full release and relaxation of your pelvic floor is equally as important as the lifting. And then just repeat the lifting, holding, and relaxing practice for 10 times a session. Next, you can try a simple bridge pose where you lay on your back with your knees bent and lift your hips up towards the sky. This functional exercise is beneficial for your pelvic floor as long as you engage your pelvic floor on the lift and avoid over-gripping your butt while doing the work. Once lifted, hold the bridge for 3 to 5 seconds and then completely relax the butt and pelvic floor muscles to lower yourself back down to the ground. And then repeat that up to 10 times. So there you go. These are 2 super simple exercises that you can do in just a few minutes each and every day to practice toning and strengthening your important and powerful pelvic floor muscles.
The second thing that I'm doing that I feel like really gets overlooked by people because we're so focused on the fitness portion, we feel like if we get our fitness right, then everything else is just gonna fall into place, and that's not necessarily true, but using food as fuel. As somebody who has experimented with what I feel like is every diet known to mankind, I've figured out what is best for my body and what works best for me, and that is picking food that is whole and nutrient dense and that really fuels my body while not ignoring the cravings completely. The cravings for me as a breastfeeding mom are almost as strong, if not stronger, than they are when I am pregnant, so I can't ignore those. So I fill up on things like vegetables, healthy fats, protein. I try to limit my processed carbohydrate consumption to 1 meal a day. So I'm talking like rice, pastas, bread, that sort of stuff. And then filling the rest of my meals with carbs that aren't processed and are more nutrient dense. Think like fruits and sweet potatoes. A lot of people don't realize that weight loss is facilitated by being in a caloric deficit. So that looks different for different people. Some people achieve a caloric deficit by cutting out an entire food group, which is kind of what you see with the ketogenic diet. You're cutting out carbs. Some people do it by calculating their daily caloric needs and then lowering their daily calorie intake to facilitate that deficit. The third thing that I am doing in my postpartum fitness and wellness journey is prioritizing rest and recovery. I know the words mom and rest don't necessarily go hand in hand, but let me explain. Rest and recovery is essential for me, and it should be for you too if you are hoping to maximize your fitness efforts. And rest days honestly are just as important as your active workout days. Rest days allow your body time from intentional exercise to allow your muscles to repair and rebuild after being broken down, which is essentially what is happening when you are working out. Now, I'm a busy mom of 3 little kiddos who are super active. They demand a lot of me. They're very high energy, and I'm also a breastfeeding mom. So rest days for me are not necessarily laying around in a big fluffy robe with a giant glass of wine in hand, which I wish. I mean, I'm still remaining active, chasing after my kids, dodging toys being thrown at me, pacing back and forth in my homeschool room when I'm teaching. You get the idea. Rest and don't feel bad about it, sister. So if, like me, you are on your postpartum fitness and wellness journey, remember that it's meant to be exactly that, a journey. It is not some quick destination. It's not something to be hurried. It's meant to be enjoyed. And there are gonna be some bumps along the way. That's good. It helps you appreciate the process a little bit more. Most importantly, I'm having to remind myself of this every day, and now I'm reminding you. Remember that you've already done the hardest workout that you're ever gonna do, and that's bringing life into the world. So don't be too hard on yourself. Take it easy, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. You got this.